Hi, I'm Sin, and today I'm going to be doing a training on the private label model and how it differs from being an e-commerce business manager. So let's get right into it. So let me share my screen and we will get started. Okay, so the private label selling model is a very profitable model for many people. There are some challenges that you will experience if you pursue that model. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the difference of the private label selling model versus an e-commerce business manager, which is what I do. So for the purposes of this training, it's all about the challenges from sourcing products from China. So let's get right into it. Now, we are going to be talking about a list of 25 potential challenges that many online sellers experience when they are finding their products and they have to purchase their products from China. Now, as a private label seller, most people believe that you cannot get products in the US at a discounted enough price in order to make a profit. So yes, products from China are cheaper, usually depending on the product, especially if they're small. But a lot of times they are, many other challenges that you're going to experience doing that model. And so that's what we're going to highlight today. And then at the end, I'm going to compare the e-commerce business manager so you can see the difference for yourself. Now, let's move on. Number one, there is a fear when you're ordering from Alibaba that the supplier is not a legitimate business. Now, if you actually research the business, there are links in the very back end of each business where you can kind of check and see, but you don't know if those documents are fake. There are a lot of them that are not, they haven't been selling very long, and you're really just taking a huge chance. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that there is a fear of losing your money after paying for the products and never even receiving them. So basically, once you pick out a product and once you negotiate a price and you get everything finalized, you're going to send them upfront thousands and thousands of dollars of your own money. And once you do that, you're going to pray that they actually are shipped back to you or shipped into Amazon directly is usually how that goes. But what a risk you are taking by handing over thousands of dollars upfront without even knowing if you're going to get any products back. Remember, you're dealing with a foreign country. There are no laws that are going to help you in that regard. All right. There is such a thing called Alibaba trade assurance. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Number three, not knowing if the company is a real manufacturer or a trading company. Now, here's the difference. Basically what it says. A manufacturer means they actually make the products. That is the best place where you're going to be able to get the best quality and be able to, let's say, create or mold or develop your own product. A trading company is basically a middleman. They're not going to have the best products, the best prices, on products. And they basically, what they do is they are a company that's a middleman that will go out and find these products that you need. So again, they won't have the best prices, and then they won't also have the means to change or edit those products or change the design or the style of those products because they're not truly the manufacturer. And there is a big misconception here when you're searching on Alibaba for these companies. They are very sneaky at hiding because a lot of people don't want to deal with the trading company. They want to go direct to a manufacturer. So there's a lot of ambiguity in their descriptions, and you really never know. And they never really tell you which one they really are. Number four is a major one, and this is that it's the language barrier. They don't speak good English. They may speak some, and but there is when you're going into specific minute details about your product design, one word or the interpretation of one word can make a huge difference, whether it's the product that you want or completely a different product that you do not want, right? So the language barrier is truly a huge obstacle. Now, Chinese holidays, they're they take about 30 days, but it's called Chinese New Year. So if you don't get your product order in, it already has a long transit time in the beginning. But then if you don't hit it right with the Chinese holiday, then you are, and if you run out of inventory, then you are stuck. That's a good 30 days minimal that you will be behind schedule on top of the other days for the transit time. So that usually throws a big kink into things when you're trying to order your inventory. Now, the time difference, this is really important too, because this means they're going to be conducting business on their time schedule. So that means you've got to stay up during your normal sleeping time hours in the middle of the night to have real-time conversations with these companies in China. Now, you can do some over, obviously you're going to be sending messages back and forth. There's other apps and programs where you can do that on. However, if you're not together at the same exact time and both live, then just to get one simple question answered could take you 24 hours. And then by the time you go in and ask the next question to clarify the first question, there's another 24 hours. So just by asking 3 questions, it could take you 3 days to get an answer. So the time difference is a major challenge and a major factor when you're looking to work with the business in China. Now, number 7 kind of goes back to the language barrier, miscommunication in the contract details. I know personally for me, I have ordered products and it was simple. I want this style, products they already made. I want this style and this color. 3 different times, the product that I received was not what I said. And very, very frustrating because I was paying shipping and handling and the cost of the product every single time I ordered those samples. So miscommunication or their understanding of what you're ordering and the fine details of the contract, that could be devastating if that happens to be a large order and not just a sample. Now, lack of communication from the supplier altogether. I have had this happen as well. And that is you're working with a potential supplier. I never even got to the point of having them as a true supplier because we never got that far. You're working, you're conversing back and forth, everything's, even though it's slow and taking a few days, it seems to be rolling along. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear from them. You go a week and don't hear from them. You're sending messages and they're not responding. And then finally they send a message back. Oh, sorry, we were busy. No, you can't operate and do business that day, that way, in that method without that, a good flow of communication. Number 9, the manufacturer is not following through on requested specifications. You may put in your contract that you want these 5 things are a must-have. They have to be done in order to create the product the way that you want it. Maybe it's packaging, maybe it's color, maybe it's size or thickness or weight. Could be many different things. But if they don't adhere to what you're asking for, then you've got a product that you have now, you may have created listings for, the quality may not be acceptable. By them not following through on their end, then you're stuck with product that you can't sell because now it's not what you asked for. Major, major challenge there. Number 10, the cost of hiring an inspector. Because if you don't get an inspector, number 1, inspectors are required, really. And if you don't, you're just setting yourself up for total failure. But you need to have an inspector to inspect those products before they ever leave China to be put on the boat or put on the plane, whatever way you're ordering them in order to get them to the US. Now, another problem with the inspector, number 1, you're going to hire the inspector. So that's a cost, an additional cost on top of the cost of the product. But a lot of times, if you are not careful and you really find a good inspector, they could be secretly working for the manufacturer. So of course, everything's going to pass inspection because they're working for the manufacturer. So finding an honest, legitimate inspector that is not related, I mean business-wise, to the manufacturer, that's something you have to be very, very careful of, or the result could be devastating with the product that you receive back. Now, again, that takes us right into number 11, failed inspection reports. Now, here's the, yes, you did an inspection and yes, they failed. Okay, so now you're back to the drawing board. So because it's a quality issue in the first place, then number one, this is another challenge, because this manufacturer is probably not a good manufacturer if none of their product made was able to pass the inspections. What's the second problem with that? Now you're delayed another 30 days or 45 days to go back through production a second time, trying to go back and remake the product all over again. You basically have to start from scratch. So now a product that you were going to be introducing and have it available for sale in 30 days now may take 90 days to get it to the right point. So the time involved. And the again, you're paying an inspector, so now you got to pay them another time once they remake the whole product all over again. So the costs just keep mounting and mounting and mounting. Number 12, receiving defective products with no option to return. Oh goodness, if you just shipped all that product here, sometimes the shipping is thousands of dollars just to get your product shipped to the United States. Normally, when you do that from the manufacturer, they are taken or shipped directly to Amazon. They don't come to you, because otherwise then you're going to have to pay another shipping fee to get it from you into the Amazon warehouse. So if you receive defective product, you're basically stuck. You cannot return them. And even if you wanted to return them, it's going to be too costly. If you just spent $2,000 to get it shipped here, you certainly don't want to pay another $2,000 to get it back and another $2,000 to ship the corrected version back. So again, it just mounts and it gets more and more and more in the hole, I guess is a great way to say that. So now, number 14, your supplier is refusing to work with you when there is an issue, or they ghost you altogether. Now, let's say you've paid your deposit down. Let's say I think it's 30%, maybe even 50% just to get them started on building your product or manufacturing your product. And then let's say it becomes an issue and they say, oh, well, now the price has to go up because of whatever reason, and reasons always pop up, always. Then if you say, well, I'm not going to pay for that because that wasn't in our agreement. And now you paid them the deposit, and now they're like, see ya, we're just not going to redo it. And you're at odds. Who's going to settle that argument, right? They're in a foreign country. They operate by their own rules. Now, again, we're talking about shipping the products. If they are defective, they go straight to Amazon. Let's just say they're not defective. Let's just say they have the wrong label on them. Okay, so it's at Amazon. It's perfectly good product, but they put the wrong labels on them. They can't be sold that way. The label is like a stocking number. It's called like an SKU, an FN SKU number. And that tells Amazon that it is your identifiable product, so they know you get credit for the sales, right? But if it can't be sold because it's not labeled correctly, or they forgot to put the label on it altogether, you've got to now recall all that merchandise. It's got to be shipped back to you, or you've got to pay someone, ship it somewhere for someone to label it properly and then ship it back into Amazon again. So it's, again, more mounting challenges that could happen and that happen all the time. All of these things, we're only up to number 15. And we've got 10 more to go. So, but I just wanted to tell you that all of these things are things I have either experienced myself, or I see other sellers talking about and being frustrated due to the challenges that they're experiencing all the time, daily basis. Okay. So these are not just some things I made up. These are things that are very, very serious. All right. Now, number 16, massive customer returns or bad reviews due to quality issues. So your business hinges on the success of these products that you're selling. If all of a sudden you start getting massive returns back or negative reviews, you never recover from that. Those reviews do not go away. You have to instantly act and either recall all the merchandise, take down the listing, figure out what you need to do. But the damage has been done. So that's another, it's another major challenge, because your business could be affected forever for that issue. Now, trade assurance is something that you can negotiate, or you run all your orders through the trade assurance program when you're ordering through Alibaba. However, there's a lot of fine detail in there. And if you're not really good about it, and if you're not working with a quality manufacturer, a reputable business, which you have no way of knowing, right? It's all a gamble in the beginning. Once you find one, you may be golden, but it's the getting you to the point of finding a good one to work with. But trade assurance is only good if you're ordering products that are something that they already manufacture. If you, and it clearly says in their terms, special orders do not count. So if you just ordered $10,000 or $30,000 worth of products from this manufacturer, and it's a special order because you made a mold, or you made a special design of this particular product, or you changed it in some way from something they were already making, your claim might not be paid. So that's a major challenge. That's a huge concern. Now, number 18, hidden fees for shipping, brokerage, taxes, duties, extreme costs that are not calculated when you're originally quoted. People get tripped up here all the time. They may be considering the cost of the product and figuring what their commission will be. And they may be quoted one price for shipping, but then comes all these hidden costs that you get billed for after the fact, for brokerage, taxes, or duties when it comes through customs. So there's lots of different things that you have to be very, very careful about. And it still happens. Even the seasoned veteran sellers on Amazon, things like this still pop up from time to time, and they get sidelined and smacked upside the head with this huge bill, thousands of dollars, that they were not prepared for or not told to account for. So a product that you may have 50% commission on, you may just drop down to 5% commission on by the time you count in these extra fees. There were hidden costs that you knew nothing about. All right, number 19, items getting held up in customs. Oh my goodness, there are horror stories galore on this one. It could just be customs is taking their own sweet time. It could be one word on the packaging that has thrown them off, that they are inspecting it for some reason, thinking it could be hazardous or something that's illegal for whatever reason. Doesn't mean that it is. For some reason, they suspect that it is, right? And they are customs is customs, and their word goes. They have the final word. You will do as they say, and there is no recourse to fight them on anything. So that is, and basically you're at their mercy. If it takes them 3 days to get through customs, or it takes 3 weeks to get through customs, you will sit patiently and you will wait and you hope everything's okay and it flows through smoothly. There is no rushing them up. So again, another time delay. That's a major challenge. Now, number 20, hijackers on your listing. Your own supplier can be competing with you. I see this happen all the time, and I see people complaining about it all the time. Now, what this means is you bought your product, they manufactured it for you, and they can get on Amazon. They have these apps just like all the other sellers do, myself included. They can see how profitable or how often sales occur for a certain item. They're watching it. They know how much it's selling because you're continually reordering, right? So what if you've got a very, very popular product and they're like, we can make our own money on that. They create their own version, and they just go set up their own listing, exactly your same products. They could even take your pictures, your copy, your writing, your title, your bullet points. They can take everything and mimic your exact item. And come to find out, it's the manufacturer that you originally bought your own products from. So they're stabbing you in the back, and they're now trying to sell against you at a much reduced cost because they're the manufacturer. They can sell it a whole lot cheaper than what you can sell it for because they're getting it at the true cost, where they're obviously making a profit in the higher cost when they sell it to you. So there are some ways to combat this, to be fair and totally transparent. If you are brand registered and you have a trademark on your product, it's not going to help you fighting that seller. as far as them selling against you, but it will help you fight them within Amazon and if they're on your listing, or if they do copy your products, you can fight them on that. You'll lose sales in the process, and they can still sell their own product, and they can rewrite their copy, they can change their pictures, they can still sell the product, right? So you can do some things to combat that, but you can't do everything to where you make them go away. So major challenge. All right, let's move on to number 21, the time in transit from China, minimum 30 to 45 days or more, just shipping time. That is not counting the time when you first contact them about creating a sample for you, going back and forth on just communication. That could be days or weeks. Then let's say you getting samples, that could be weeks or months. By the time you get multiple back and forth, and then once you finally decide on contract and specifications, and then they go into production, it could take 45 days for production. And then once it's ready, then it has to be inspected, then it has to be shipped, then it has to go through customs, then it finally arrives at Amazon. Once it finally gets to Amazon, I mean, how much are we talking about? I mean, this could be 6 months. Hopefully it's not that long for everybody, but easily from beginning to end, it could easily be 6 months. And then once it gets to Amazon, it could sit in their warehouse for 3 or 4 weeks before they even check it in and make it available to order. Oh, goodness. So lots of challenges there as well. Now, number 22, extremely high cost in shipping fees and additional time to get your samples. And if you multiply that times 5 samples in some cases, it can really add up. So basically, if you're thinking about, you have to order a sample. I think I mentioned this in the very beginning of this training. So I order a sample, I pay for the sample, I pay for shipping, and then I wait for it to come, which could be, 2 weeks. And if it's sent like by air, and then let's say it's wrong, well, I need to tweak it. Or let's say it's nothing wrong with it, I just need to tweak it to make it my own, to make it the way I want it. Then I've got to order another sample. They got to make another sample and then come back. So you might go back and forth with 5 different samples, shipping back and forth, and that all that time in between, just to get a final version that you're now ready to go to production on. So all of that adds up. I don't care how cheap the sample is, just the shipping fees alone are going to add up. Okay. Number 23, items seized in customs or disposed of. Now, if you have not researched your product well at all, then you are running the risk of not meeting certain codes or requirements by the US, especially the FDA or the EPA, or I mean, it could be any of those 3-letter governments. It could be anything that could be wrong with that product. If it's one ingredient that's in the description of the product that they don't like, then they can actually seize all of your product inventory, and they will dispose of it, and they do not pay you any money for that. It's you should have known better, and sorry, too bad, too sad, and there goes all your money. So that is always a concern. And you just have to do due diligence and really investigate that and make sure you're doing it properly when you're getting when you're thinking about what products to bring over from another country. Number 24, you can't get the items such as supplements from China due to government regulations. So this is a really good example. A lot of their supplements are not allowed, period, in the US. So another example of a specific product where it's not even allowed, period. So you would have to, in that case, get a USA manufacturer if you are located in the US. Now, number 25, see your own private label product images now being used by your own supplier and others. All right, so not even by your own supplier, which we just talked about in another point, but other people. So now that they're selling your product on Alibaba, where they have their manufacturer, their business advertised or set up there where you can search the product, they now have a picture of your product there. And in other sellers, not just them, even if they don't sell against you, they are now going to offer your product for sale. So people, another seller, say me or any million of other people, now realize, oh, this is a hot new selling product. Let me go find an Alibaba manufacturer and see if I can get that made. Oh, lo and behold, there's the picture. There's the item. Let me buy that. So now they're selling. They're not giving you exclusive rights to that product. They're selling to anybody that wants to order. So that can be extremely disappointing and a huge challenge to overcome. Now, all of that was all concerning. And I'm sure there are more ways, more challenges that you could experience. These are just the top 25. I took about 10 minutes to come up with off the top of my head. Okay. So it's tons more issues that could be potential out there that you could run into. But what I want to convey to you is that, do you want to learn an easier way to sell online? Why take all that risk? So there is a new option, and it's one that it's safe and it's a risk-free alternative. And this is all about becoming an e-commerce business manager. All right. Now, what this means is you're actually selling other people's products for them. You are managing their entire e-commerce business platform, and you partner with them as a service provider, as a way that you can help them grow and expand their business onto an e-commerce platform. In doing so, and in doing this work, you're paid through commissions. You earn a commission on every sale. So instead of getting paid your profit margin on a particular product that you order from China, you don't have to go through any of that sourcing whatsoever. You partner with someone that's a business, a local business, or someone in your region, and find someone that has a product and they just don't know how to sell it online, and you just put that product online for them and work in conjunction with them to promote their business online. So, and again, for the compensation for doing that is earning a commission on every sale. There are many ways you can structure that, but that's personally what I do. I just say, hey, for managing this and handing this e-commerce business to you on a silver platter, here's what I want to do. And this is what I'm going to be, this is how I'm going to support you in that effort. So now, you can, at the same time, you're building a solid home-based business as a service provider. And then because of that, you can write your own paycheck while creating a pathway to freedom. Now, as an e-commerce business manager, you will transition from an ordinary e-com seller that's taking all the risk into the role of a highly valued, highly paid e-com business partner requiring zero risk. Okay, so this whole thing comes down to a method that you're going to use to sell online. Could be private label, but you incur all the risk of doing that in that method. As an e-commerce business manager, you have no risk at all. You just simply partner with another business that already has a product and sell their products for them. So no risk is the overall bottom line here. And so here I wanted to tell you, I get a lot of questions and people ask me, well, isn't this kind of like aren't you just being a virtual assistant? Well, yes and no. And so am I doing some tasks that a virtual assistant would be doing? Yes, I am. However, by my title and by elevating my skill sets, I am promoting myself as an e-commerce business manager, and that just the title alone it elevates you to a level to where you are able to command a higher compensation than just an hourly paid job. Virtual assistants are great. They work hard. They produce tons of work, and I have them employed myself. Love them. Could not do my business without them. But an EBM is teaching you how to present yourself as a business manager, and that, with skill sets and what you can offer these businesses, you can command more income than being just a virtual assistant. Okay, so I do not mean to diminish virtual assistant work at all, or those people. They're fabulous. Again, I use them and could not live without them. But an EBM is just a method that allows you to elevate the positioning of your role And here's how they're going to differ. Let's just jump right into it, because I think that'll kind of explain it a little bit more. Now, as an e-com seller, that just means you're taking all the risk on yourself, right? And you're just buying the product and you're hoping they sell once you list them with Amazon. So let's go through each of these real quick. Exclusive rights to sell a client's product. As an EBM, I get those exclusive rights. Nobody else can sell their products but me. They love working with one person exclusively, because that way they don't have to work through 20 or 20,000 different people trying to sell their products, and they know it's managed. You've got that one-on-one relationship, and they know it's managed properly with no funny business going around. Now, as an e-com seller, no, you have to get your products from wherever you get them from. You are not the exclusive seller. And a virtual assistant, again, it's set up differently. So they're just doing their hourly work. That's like administrative assistant work. So they're not seen as the seller. They're just doing more of an administrative role. Now, no investing of money in product inventory upfront. Oh my gosh, never have I had to pay a dime on a multi-million-dollar business. That if I was an e-com seller, that would be a false statement, because on a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business, I would have to be buying all that product inventory up front, right? Now, of course, virtual assistants don't purchase any money or product either. Now, you grow your business with your client as a valued business partner. So I have strategic meetings where I'll analyze their business and think creatively about, okay, let's expand here. And what about if we offered a companion product here, or expanded the product line, or expanded to another e-commerce platform, or set up a wholesale program. So I am invested mentally and with my way of thinking and the recommendations that I can make with a business owner to help grow their business, right? So as an e-com seller, none of that. You don't even have conversation with the person wherever you're purchasing the product. You're just buying it and reselling it, right? So the virtual assistant really doesn't operate in that role either. Now, again, for my compensation for the work that I do, I earn commissions on every single order, and neither does an e-com seller, or neither does a virtual assistant. Increase the earnings by adding additional e-commerce platforms. Do I want to give myself a raise this month? Okay, let's find a new platform to put this product on, of this already selling product. Let's find somewhere else to go. People have certain websites they like to purchase from. So all you have to do is continue expanding to more platforms. That many more sales will be generated. I just gave myself a raise, and I just created more additional sales for my business client. Now, as an e-com seller, now you can certainly have that right to expand on multiple platforms. Most people stick with the one. If they're an Amazon seller, they stay on Amazon. If they're an eBay seller or Etsy seller, they stick to those. Most of them don't cross back and forth or incorporate multiples, where I do. All right, now, no spending money for insert special packaging or freebies. All right. As an e-commerce business manager, that's not my role to spend my own funds. But what I would be doing is suggesting to the business client, hey, why don't we fix up this neat insert where they have an information card, or they have a link, or they have a coupon that they can order, come back and order again, or join some kind of giveaway club or whatever. Let's say you want to add, oh gosh, I just ordered some a nail set from Amazon for my personal use. So let's say, let's throw in an extra 2 nail files in there. That is an example. That could be something that I could suggest to this client. That wouldn't be my expense. I'm just making a suggestion to the business owner as a way to help them grow their business and, offer more value for their product. As an e-com seller, then that is your expense. You would be buying all that up front, okay? Now, virtual assistant might be involved in some of those kind of conversations, doubtful, because they're more of an hourly wage person that would be, certain duties. They're probably, I'm sorry, I take this back. It is true that they would not be spending their own money. That is actually true. Now, vested in the success of the client's business. Yes, as for an EBM, e-commerce business manager, I'm truly vested, meaning that I am putting forth effort. The more they win, the more successful they are, the more money I make. So it is a wonderful win-win partnership for both of us. There is no vested interest if you're an e-com seller or a virtual assistant. Now, you set your own hours and work your own schedule. That's pretty much true across the board for anybody. No liability for the product sold. Okay, this is really important for an EBM, because again, I am supporting this other company, this other business. So anything that's an issue, it's their business, right? They're the ones. Now, I might help facilitate getting something corrected or handling returns, or whatever I need to do for if it's something that's defective, and send in a free replacement, but it's their cost. So I want to just make sure that that expense is not mine. If you are an e-com seller, every bit of that expense is yours. And of course, that's true for virtual assistant, because you're not buying products either. Now, no time invested searching for that perfect product. How many hours have you spent? If you're already a seller, how many hours do you spend searching and searching and searching for that perfect product to sell before you pull the trigger and actually buy thousands of dollars worth of inventory, praying is going to sell once you actually finally have it listed on Amazon, because there is no guarantee, right? So I don't spend any time doing that. I partner with businesses that already have their products. So that whole entire step, I don't even have to do. I spend zero time doing that anymore. Now, as an e-com seller, you're going to be spending tons of time. That's probably one of your biggest time, I won't say wasters, because it's important, but it's one of the biggest block of time that you will be spending your time on is searching for products. A virtual assistant may be doing some work searching for products. It depends on what your role is. Now, no business expenses, seller fees, ads, software, all this, all kinds of tracking software, all these inventory software. It could be gazillions of different software programs. I don't pay for any of that. That's a business expense. If you're an e-com seller, you definitely have to incur all of that cost on your own. And of course, a virtual assistant is not either. So as you see just from this chart, the EBM, e-commerce business manager position, is the clear winner of and the best opportunity to have the least amount of risk when you are selling online. E-commerce seller, a regular seller, you're going to be taking on all the risk and spending all the money because it's your business, right? Virtual assistant, that could go either way. They provide a wonderful service, and they get paid an hourly rate, more of an administrative function. They're not really partnered with a business in a business growth, as a business growth opportunity. Okay. Hopefully that's a good snapshot with specifics that allow you to see really the overall opportunity and how they differ from each other. Now, the e-commerce business manager model is the best option out there if you are comparing retail arbitrage, where you're shopping in stores for deals, or online arbitrage, where you're scouring the computer for a deal somewhere. You still have to buy these products up front and ship them into Amazon, and then you're going to suffer probably the race to the bottom on prices from all the other greedy sellers out there that are trying to win the sale. And then you start competing on price and lowering your price all the way down to where nobody makes any money. Same thing with wholesale. These businesses that offer wholesale opportunities, they're selling to every single person that will sign up for a wholesale account because they want that much more sold, right? And then of course, private label is where you source all your products yourself and take the biggest risk, because you're creating something that's special and unique for you and your business, and you just have to pray that it sells after you sunk thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of inventory upfront, and especially if it's coming from a foreign country, which all those other 25 challenges that we just talked about. So if you want to learn more about the e-commerce business management program, or how to become a certified e-commerce business manager, then do offer a free 5-day workshop called E-commerce Business Secrets. And then there is also the program itself, again, is a certification, and hopefully that is a hyperlink where you can click it there. If you Google either one, both will come up as well. Okay, thank you so much. And hopefully you've gained some value and learned really the differences of each and the challenges, and how EBM can be a clear winner over the private label model. Thanks so much.